with the Citizen channel. I hope you're all very, very well. And today we're going to have a look forward, obviously, to this Premier League, the second game for City, the third game for a team called Leicester City who are playing. So it's City versus Leicester City on the 27th of September. 8:15 PM kickoff, so it's another late one, and oh dear me, fortunately I'm still off. As you can see from the backdrop, I'm still away. So yeah, I will be back in Manchester very soon, and I'll be back in work very soon. But I'll still be off, obviously, the day after, so at least I can sort of watch the game and comment on it, and have a nice kip and have a lie-in in the morning. So that's not too bad. So please, if you're new to this little channel, we're going to have a little review of the game today, plus my little betting thing. Obviously, I don't condone betting, but a bit of fun. We're doing all right at the moment on that one, so a little bit on that, and a little bit of City magazine, which covers all the City news, any City news that's out there. You may have missed or you may not, but I go through the media side of City as well today. So please join this little Citizen channel, push that subscribe button, push the bell notification on. These vlogs are coming out of Citizen channel, past and present. These are a lot of presents coming out at the moment. We've got a lot of games coming through, but there's still City Pass stuff coming out as well, so keep your eyes open. Right, Leicester City, how are they doing? Well, they're top of the table. There you go. Can't argue with that, can you? Doing better than us. 2 wins, 3-0 at West Brom, who were one of my favourites to go down, actually. A nice comfortable win at West Brom though, followed by a 4-2 home win against Burnley, who will now, as I'm recording this, will be our next competitors in the Carabao Cup, because we've just obviously beaten Bournemouth as I'm recording this. So yep, so that'll be they beat Burnley 4-2. It wasn't easy, the game. It seems a bit easy on scoreline, but yeah, Burnley actually had more. Leicester had more possession, but Burnley actually had more shots than Leicester. So it wasn't easy as a game at 4-2. And just to sort of back that up, they have actually lost in the Carabao Cup. They lost at home to Arsenal. Well, there's no shame in that, is there? We did the same, and Arsenal did a good job again. Leicester had more possession, but Arsenal took the chances and went through 2-0 on the night at Leicester, at the Walker Stadium. Is it still called the Walker Stadium there in Leicester? So yeah, so they're okay. Last season, of course, remember it was a funny game, wasn't it? Last season, it was a good 3-1 win for City back on the 21st of December 2019. We were in there, weren't we? 54,415 of us. The memories, the good days. 63% possession for City. It was 37% for Leicester. 23 shots for City, 12 on target, just 5 for Leicester, 2 on target. I mean, it was an interesting game because it was coming off don't forget we had the home defeat to United, and we were sitting third behind Leicester. So 3 points was a must, because we obviously would have gone 7 points behind if we'd lost that game. So we're all getting a bit despondent. We were third in the table. KDB at the post on 13 minutes, but it's Leicester who went ahead with Mr. Vardy. We'll have a talk about him in a moment. But Leicester ahead on 22 minutes, but it wasn't long, on 30 minutes. A deflected Mahrez effort. So, I mean, who was tormenting Chilwell. He can't do that this time, can he? So he's not in my expected lineup, to be honest with you. So we were back in it, and then a Gundogan penalty there. Oh, the Gundogan penalty gave City the lead just before half time. And to be honest, Leicester were poor, and you can see by those shot stats, etc. We were poor in the second half, and City were quite comfortable. We added a third through Jesus from, yes, a KDB assist. So there you go. It was an excellent, easy win in the end for City, although it did start off a bit dodgy overall against Leicester at the Etihad. We played 50, won 32, drawn 10 and lost 8. So not a bad record, scoring 119 goals and 58 against. Our heaviest home defeat came back as recently as 2003-2004 at a 3-0 reverse. And our best win was back in 1967-68. Please watch my history channel. This will be coming up in the next few weeks. Looking at 1967-68. I don't know why that year's familiar to me. I have no idea. But the best win was 6-0 on the 11th of November 1967, with Neil Young scoring 2, Francis Lee scoring 2, Mike Doyle and Alan Oakes both scoring. Very prolific scorers, Mike Doyle and Alan Oakes, for defensive midfielders. Fantastic. Yeah, Leicester. Well, the 1920 Leicester season, 1920, they were bound, seemed to be bound for top four, didn't they? I mean, even competing for, even hinted. Some people even hinted they might win the league at one stage, but it all went to crap, didn't it? All went to the wall, didn't it? I mean, and certainly after the COVID break, it was an absolute disaster. But the cracks were showing a little bit before then, and they ended up obviously allowing a certain team from down the road easier access into the Champions League, and they ended up finishing back in fifth and playing Europa League football. So yeah, it's a bit of a rubbishy season for Leicester. I did say early in the season I think it was flattering to deceive, and it did turn out that way, but a bit like Wolves, who obviously started very well as well. Davy Clayton just interviewed Pep obviously after the Bournemouth game on Leicester, and Pep went on to say, "It'll be incredibly tough, we know that, it's always difficult, and this will be no exception. We'll play at home. I see the team really well in terms of happiness. The young players help us a lot, and we have moved forward. Last season they were incredible," which they were for most of it. "They struggled in the last part of the season, absolutely, when Chilwell and Maddison were injured." Yeah, I think Maddison's back, isn't he? So that's a shame. It's good for them, a shame for us, obviously, because he's one of their better players. I'm not... fantastic. I don't think City was fitting at City particularly, but yeah, Chilwell and Maddison were injured. They were big players for them, so they've lost Chilwell now. They have exceptional players up front and in the middle. We know it. We know how tough it will be. Yeah, so my little City lineup, I don't think, based on the fact he played his kids last night, I'm going with no Chilwell, so no Mahrez for me. Please don't play Mahrez against him. I'm going for similar to the first game against Wolves. I'm going to Ederson, Walker, Ake, Laporte if he's available. As I said, I'm doing this on the basis of we don't know if he'll be fit or not. Mendy, Rodri, Fernandinho, KDB, Foden, Sterling and Jesus is my starting 11. So let's see how many of those I get right for the game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we should be okay, don't you? I think yeah, Leicester look okay, but if we're as positive as we were against Wolves, I think we'll be fine. Right, let's have a look at my little odds on the game. Little odds, please. I don't condone betting anyway, and please only ever gamble what you can afford. And these are just fun bets for me. I literally a point bet is just £1 bet for me, so I literally put less than a tenner on every week on these games. I don't very rarely put more than a tenner off, and it's just for interest, and it's what I can afford. I can afford it, so I do it. So please, if you can't, only bet what you can afford, and when the fun stops, please stop. And I've done really well. I mean, another good. Did well against Wolves, plenty of points in the bank there, and I did well against Bournemouth. I had 3 bets. I had both teams to score at 11-8, so I had 5 points on that. So that came in, didn't it, against Bournemouth? I thought Bournemouth would score, and the correct score, I was just 1 out. I did say 3-1, it would have been 11-1, but obviously at 2-1 I thought we might have sneaked a third like we did against Wolves, which I had as 2-1, ended up as 3-1, and this one I had as 3-1 and it ended up as 2-1, so I just missed out on that one. But it's only 2 points on that, so I only lost that. And as far as any time goal score, I had a Bournemouth player who didn't play, so I'll get that back. So overall a 4.9 points profit, so happy days again for me. That's two on the trot, so it doesn't always go like that, but that's good. So on to Leicester, 200-1 to win the league. Leicester, do you fancy putting a quid on that? You might lose a quid. And top 6 and 9-4, again not overly generous odds. I probably wouldn't risk it on that. Sorry, top 6, yeah, top 6 9-4. I wouldn't risk it on that, to be honest with you. But yeah, perhaps a few Leicester fans will have a go, but I mean I wouldn't think that. But 200-1 to win the league, if you think, for Leicester, and they are top at the moment, so there you go. Right, on to the match. City are 1-3 on. The draw is 5-1 and Leicester 8-1. First goal scorer, of course, you got the ever one. You got Raheem at 4, Mahrez 11-2, KDB at 6, Foden at 15-2, and the Leicester you got Vardy at 8-1. Harvey Barnes at 20-1, which is not a bad price, is it? Harvey Barnes 20-1, there's potential in that one. And Torres is 8-1, but I doubt very much Torres will be playing based on the Bournemouth game, to be honest with you. And where I get my first bet today, first 2 bets, a bit cheeky on this one. I said it's just for fun, this. I don't mind betting against City sometimes. It's just a bit of fun, you know. It doesn't matter, does it? Anytime goal scorers, of course, we've got Jesus and Sterling at evens, but you've got, again, a good price as it was against Wolves. KDB 9-5, so just under 2-1, but that's worth it, I think. So that's my first bet, 2 points on the KDB at 9-5. I'm going for that. Sorry, 5 points on that. That's my big bet of the day. 5 points, 9-5. KDB score, anytime goal score. I think he's all right. He got a bit of a knock at the end of the Bournemouth game, but I think he'll be fine. Mahrez is 8-5 against to play him against his old team, but I doubt that very much. I don't think he'll be starting the game, to be honest. I may be totally wrong, but I'm going to have a little saver. I mean, I've got my 5 points on KDB, but again at 9-5, we've got a certain gentleman called Vardy. Yes, Mr. Steptoe. We've got him at 9-5, so I'm going to have a little saver bet, just as I say, just for fun. 2 points on Vardy at 9-5 as well. So that's the first two bets. Both teams to score is yes 8-13. I think both teams can score this one, but that's not very restricted, that, so I'm going to leave that. No is 13-10, but I do think both teams will probably score. I hope we keep a clean sheet, but there you go. Correct score, this is where my third bet. Obviously I always do a correct score thing anyway, so even though it's probably the hardest to predict, isn't it, from as far as betting is concerned. 2-1 to City's 15-2, 2-0 is 9-1, 1-0 and 3-0 is 10-1, but as I said, I do think Leicester score, so I'll go for the bog standard safe score that does happen every so often. 3-1, which is 11-1, so I'm going to go for 2 points on that. So 3-1, so 3-1 the score. I think 3-1 because I've got 3-1 written down. It looks like 3-1. So for a 3-1 scoreline in Manchester City's favour, you can get 11-1, so 2 points on that. And for Leicester wins, you get a 2-1 Leicester win, which is possibly the nearest I can think of if Leicester do win it and it's not a draw. It's 28-1, so that's not a bad price if you wanted to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that. I'm a City fan, but hey, I can have Vardy, but I'm not going to have Leicester to score, but I'm not going to have Leicester to win, am I? Half-time, full-time, it's 5-6 for City half-time and full-time. Yeah, I think it's more likely a draw in City, though, so that's 7-2, so that's a good price. A draw is 10, and Leicester is 16-1. So that's not bad prices there. There's no real value on the under-over mark. It's over 2.5 and 3.5 are 4-11 and 10-11 respectively. So there's no value in that. So there you go. My free bets. Anytime goals, free bets. Anytime goal scorer. 5 points on KDB at 95. 2 points on Vardy at 95 as a little saver. And a correct score to win. City to win 3-1. That's 11-1, 2 points on that. So that's my little betting. Right, onto the little City magazine, City media stuff, anything on the City site. Well, don't forget as well, I tell you tend to forget, they do a little digital programme now on the City site. So you can get things including Pep's thoughts and buzzer. You've got Kevin Cummins in there as well, the photographer's old pictures. Mark Riley's in there, and there's lots more in there. So don't forget to go onto the Manchester City site. You don't have to be a member of City Plus or anything like that. The digital programmes are available on the MCFC website, so please remember that, certainly for the Leicester game. I think they're available the day before, so obviously you can, if we're playing Leicester on Sunday, I think you can have a look at those on the Saturday. They're quite interesting. If you like me, you like your programmes and you miss your programmes, it'll never make up for the programme, obviously, but yeah, so that's worth a look. The Leeds versus City game on the 3rd of October. We're still on the 3rd of October. It's now 5:30 p.m. on Sky TV. And we've got a little piece there, obviously, on Raheem Sterling getting his usual stick. This is outside of the City site now. This is other City news. And the Daily Star there for signing a deal with Clark's. Obviously, it's shocking, wasn't it? So they've got some negative comments from fans, etc. And it's funny, isn't it? Because I was reading King of the Kippax, the latest issue, and John Burfield did a great piece on Harry Maguire, and he was obviously making comparisons with how kind the press were to Harry Maguire compared to Raheem Sterling. He listed 34 instances and things where Raheem Sterling was sort of criticised in various papers and magazines or on the media, etc. Even where there's an image where there's no actual story about Raheem, but it was shown in an image and things like this as the main character in an image, even though it was about another guy in the image. So it's quite interesting. If you've not, please subscribe to KOT King of the Kippax. I'll get it on Kindle. If you've not read that, it's a great piece. And there's just 34 different times, and that's just recent stuff. It's not particularly old stuff, and I certainly wouldn't pick everything else up either. So it's interesting on the John Burfield, and now we get this. We'll still get it. So obviously the Daily Star have highlighted that. So bit of a rag, but in fact I only came across it because being away I do sort of buy a paper because I haven't got a great internet connection, so I just buy a paper as something different, and I wouldn't normally buy them sort of rags, to be honest with you, but it just shows you, doesn't it? I'm glad I don't. And Never ends with Raheem, does it? Other City news, of course, as we thought, the captaincy of City obviously is voted by the players, which it was last season, and again it's been done for Fernandinho, which again is okay. And we know KDB's the vice captain, and KDB's going to be playing more games, but we need a presence, don't we? Not just a token effort, something out of not sympathy, sentiment. Is a sentiment vote by the players. I don't think the players should be voting for the captain. I think it should be up to the boss to pick the captain. I think it's a bit wrong that. I don't know what your thoughts on that are. I don't think it should be left to the players. I think it should be the team manager, Pep, who decides who the team captain is, and someone who will lead on the pitch. And we still, to some extent, it's not been too bad at the moment. We've not really needed that, but there's certain games where we need a leader on the pitch, and we're certainly, since Vincent's gone, or even Vincent's presence on the bench or in the stand, I mean, since that's gone, we don't really have that. Interesting that the media, particularly Sky, there's a little thing here of course many Liverpool fans are latching on this, are trying to talk up Thiago, wasn't they, or Thiago, and saying how he's better than KDB, and the Sky are questioning, is he better, or can he be better, or is he better? And it's ludicrous, of course, and the stat cards from last season show this. I mean, there's no doubt defensively that Thiago is, with interception and ball recovery, has got a lot in his locker, and he's a good player. But to actually come out and this clickbait from Sky, etc., to compare him to KDB, anyway, it's pure rubbish, isn't it? And certain fans, of course, will lap it up, and that's the whole aim of it, isn't it? So we as City fans take it with a pinch of salt. And interestingly enough, on the subject of lapping it up and things, there was an interesting tweet from a guy called Shinko. I'm not going to quote his at name because he's not worth it. He's not worth a follow. But he's apparently a taxi driver and a Cop Block 109 season ticket holder from Merthyr Tydfil in Wales. There you go. Well, he doesn't have to do much travelling now, at least, does he? So he's not followed by anyone I follow, which is wonder why. Anyway, his quote on watching Monday Night Football, and the BBC sent a comment as a reply to Mika Richards, obviously, who's been appearing on Monday Night Football against Wolves, and he said this guy Shinko, decent pundit, but needs to realise it's Sky Sports or BBC, not the Man City channel. Absolutely, you couldn't write it, you couldn't make it up, could you? You can imagine some of the replies from City fans you got to that comment. You know, all the years we've had to put up with the Liverpool bias is unbelievable. But even if it'd been tongue in cheek, I would have, you know, but it wasn't. He meant it in all seriousness. So tongue in cheek, it would have been quite funny. You know, if a City fan had done it, we would have done it tongue in cheek, wouldn't we? But it's just a typical airhead of a Liverpool fan, and the irony, and he probably missed the irony. I didn't see any comments back to what people had said to him, so perhaps it missed, probably went right over his head. And to finish, I mean, obviously it's not a great, we see some great images from Kevin Cummins, don't we? And he's in, as I said, he's in the Digital City programmes. But that image there on screen, I mean, it has done the rounds before. I've seen it many, many times, and it appeals to me because obviously it's a time when I was going. I would probably gone in that entrance myself at 20p for juniors at the time. You know, it's my sort of time when I was a kid going to watch City. But if you look at that, no, it's not me. But it looks like that lad's holding a bottle to that young lad's mouth. That's not me. No, that's certainly got a bit more hair than I have. But I did have hair in those days. But it's a great image. I just love it. I mean, just look how big those I think it was up to 16, so in all fairness, some big lads at the 16, but hey, we were bred big lads in those days, so just the sheer size of the different lads queuing up to get into that turnstile is absolutely fantastic. I mean, that's one of my favourite pictures, so I thought I'd just show you to finish off this little preview of the Leicester game anyway, so hope you enjoyed that. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Please, my links are on screen now. You can follow or friend me on Facebook and Twitter. I check every couple of days to follow, friend everyone back. And please, if you're into movies and TV dramas and you like the odd movie quiz, please check out my links and playlists for my Cities and Movie channel, if you like, TV and movie channel as well, which I just call Bernard's Film and TV channel, but there you go. So please check that out and point someone, if you know someone who might be interested, please point them in my direction. That'd be absolutely fantastic. And if you look at my little website, moviegamenostalgia.com, for old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, and some board games. That'd be fantastic as well if you can do that. And even just have a look around, it's good for my analytics. That'd be fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Of course, I will be back soon in my usual city-inspired backdrop. This will be going. This towel will now be coming down. I've no more vlogs to do while I'm away, and I'll be back in a couple of days. So please check out my review on Monday the 28th of September, when I should be back in familiar surroundings, and we'll be talking about another victory against Leicester City. Hopefully that'll be fantastic, won't it? Let me know in the comments what you think. Anyway, as I said, what do you think about, obviously, will Delap be on the bench? Hey, Delap, as I said, I've said in my Bournemouth little review, I want Delap on the bench now. I want an option. I want an option off the bench, and although it's early days, but it'd be great to have another big lad on the bench, wouldn't it, to come on for 10 minutes. Not that we'll need to against Leicester, because we'll be comfortably ahead by then, so we won't need to do any panicking, obviously, will we? Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Please, what are we going to do with the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. Let's all look after each other. And all I can say till we meet again is please stay safe, Blues. Further saying, goodbye for now.